My dad was a surgeon and oncologist.
Yeah.
Ironic as that could be, he passed away from the thyroid cancer. It was less than a year that he lived from the time that he was diagnosed with cancer. After that, I started reading more about cancer. What else could have been done? What else should have been done? You know, and I realized that there's so much information.
Dear friends, welcome to Impromptu Stories. In this insightful conversation, we'll speak with Lisa. She's a former infectious diseases doctor from Ukraine who made the bold decision to start a new life in Canada 23 years ago. As a mother of 2 young children, she traded her medical degree for a new career as a registered nurse in foreign land. Over the years, Lisa has evolved both professionally and personally, delving deep into the world of holistic healing and emotional well-being. Through her experience working as a personal nurse to holistic doctors here in Canada, Lisa has learned to merge the best of both worlds, combining her traditional medical expertise with her knowledge of holistic healing. She is now an emotion and body coach practitioner, helping others unlock emotional blockages and facilitate self-healing. Please pour your favorite drink and join us in this very insightful and inspiring conversation. Thank you. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me on my little podcast. I want to tell to our listeners the little story how we met. I actually met Lisa in 2010 when I was just brand new immigrant, and I just had my new baby, second baby. And when Lisa walked into my room at the hospital on her shift, I heard your accent, and I asked you, "Do you by any chance speak Russian?" And that's how we met up. And I was so happy to see you because I was at a very vulnerable moment when I just had my new baby. I was brand new immigrant in the country, and hearing somebody speak in my language, being right there at that moment, it was like you were like an angel to me. And our friendship bloomed and grew from there. Our children even went to the same school together. They were friends, and we have quite a history of our friendship. Thank you so much for all these 15 years of friendship. I really appreciate
15 years.
Time flies. I really appreciate you. But today I want to talk about you. So you came to Canada 23 years ago.
Yes.
And you had and you had a little child on you, like 4-year-old.
Yes. Yeah, my oldest son was 4. Yes.
4, yeah. And you were a doctor back in Ukraine at that time. You were you didn't only have a degree and didn't only work in a hospital as an infectious disease doctor, but also you were teaching at the university, I understand.
Yes, preventative medicine.
You were teaching preventive medicine at the
Odessa State Medical University.
Medical University, that's lovely. So you being such a professional back home, and you came to Canada and you had to actually give up your degree, and you became a registered nurse here in Canada. What was your feeling when you probably didn't imagine giving up your degree?
Of course, it's been a long time ago, and when we were applying to come to Canada, so we kind of had to sign a paper that we are not going to be practicing unless we had to go through like a lot of recertification.
Oh, so what do you mean? Like they made you sign a paper?
They made us sign a paper.
Who is this? I don't.
In an embassy. Anyway, of course, it took me some time, just to learn English first, then to go through a refresher program, nursing refresher program, and then I became a registered nurse, and then. This is how my medical journey started here in Canada.
I'm sorry, I have to go back to this. It's just it kind of a little bit shocked me because I had no idea. I mean, we've known each other for 15 years, but we never talked about professional part of our lives. We were just friends and immigrants. We were moms to our little children.
Yes, and then we had to go through different recertification, exams and all kinds of stuff. But So anyway, here I am, 23 years later.
Yeah, but do you feel sad about that?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You're good now.
Absolutely.
So you let go your role as a doctor, as a medical doctor, and when?
Of course, I made my peace with the way who I am right now, and I kind of chose a different path where I can go and help people.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and you were a very good nurse because when I was at the hospital that day, I received so much support from you, so much help, just kindness. It was so much compassion. Yeah, thank you so much. And I was like, because I was having some complications after my during labor and after. Yeah, it was very important for me to have somebody who can be by my side, which was lovely. So, what was? And I know you also worked for. You still work in the hospital, right?
Yes,
today.
Yes.
But also you worked for some holistic doctors as a side job, or extra hours.
I was working with a couple of different doctors who were medical doctors, but they were doing more holistic approach. Like they were doing. Helping people to change their diet, lifestyle, help out people with the supplementation, vitamin supplementation, like vitamin C, glutathione, vitamin D, A, and so on. And we had lots of people who come, from like Tom Baker Center, like they were just kind of sign off to go home and just.
Really?
These people would come to that private clinics, and they would just they would just stay, they would live much longer, with much better quality of life.
I bet you learned so much from this.
Absolutely, yes. This is when my journey started. I've always been kind of in a health-oriented person. Like I remember my mom was saying when I was little, I would just say, "I'm not eating sugar; it's the white death."
Yeah,
not eating salt.
It's so well known, right? White salt, white sugar, white salt, white flour.
Yes, exactly.
Are all white death.
Exactly.
That's what first drew you to holistic medicine, yeah?
Yes, like my mom taught me a lot about different herbs. And
your mom, honestly, I have to say this to the listeners. Lisa actually comes from a very, generations, you have generations of medical doctors and your family is actually rooted in medical system, I guess. How do you say that?
Yes.
Because you have your dad who used to be a doctor as well, and your mother, dentist? She's a dentist?
My mom was a dentist. My dad was surgeon and oncologist, because we lived in a small town, like doctors just don't operate on like right arm or like left leg. They do everything.
They do everything. So it's like they yeah, I see. They just they cover all of the areas. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So, and then your brother is also
my brother and my sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law also, and your ex-husband as well. So Lisa has very unique history in the family of everybody working as medical doctors. And when you worked, so first your mom, I guess, was your influence, for you to go to learn a little bit more about holistic medicine, and then you worked for these private doctors who were practicing holistic medicine.
Yes.
So what was there any like personal maybe turning point for you when you
absolutely
explored healing like beyond that just conventional path?
Yes, absolutely. As ironic as that could be, my dad, who used to be an oncologist, he passed away from the thyroid cancer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was my dad's cancer, that kind of brought me to that point, to more holistic side of human health. When my dad passed, pretty much it was less than a year that he lived from the time that he was diagnosed with cancer, and then when he passed, it was less than a year. And after that, I started reading more about cancer, reading about what else could have been done, what else should have been done, and I realized that there are so much information available, you just don't be lazy, just grab a book or two, listen to a podcast, check some documentaries, and there's so much information.
So what is exactly, what different approach would you take today if you knew about those things when your dad was still alive with us?
Just first of all, health or being healthy, it means that it's a combination of different qualities of the body. It's not only like I take this expensive supplement and I'll be healthy. Yes, no, not at all. It's a combination. It's being disciplined.
About what?
About
changing your lifestyle?
Great sleep. Drinking enough water. Eating good, healthy foods. Having a loving relationship. Being in love, it actually affects your life so much.
Because emotional well-being, that's what you actually propose a lot, right? These days,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
You're always for the positivity, always for compassion and having that mindset, right?
Yeah, so anyway, in my own health journey, I was kind of researching and thinking like, what can I do for myself and my close people, my friends, my relatives, whoever needs help, because I have a little bit of background and a little bit of knowledge, about health.
Not a little bit.
Yeah.
You're a doctor. I think you know more than anybody else.
So I just was wondering, like, what else is missing in our health? What else is missing?
In our health system, you mean, or in our health?
In our health, just kind of, because, like, to tell you the truth, like, I've met so many people, but I haven't met a single healthy person, like, who is healthy emotionally and physically 100%. I haven't. I have not. So, and I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? Like, what different I can do to help people out? So, and then I kind of realized about something, that emotional health is so underestimated, We kind of talk about emotional health only like when you are sick, like completely sick, like emotionally sick, like having schizophrenia or bipolar or something
depression.
else, or depression. Yeah, it's kind of more advanced cases, but we all need emotional support on a daily basis, like, I don't know, talking to a friend, talking to your neighbor, or talking to your colleague at work.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about like how your date went last night or something like that.
Yeah. Now you became a certified emotion and body code practitioner.
Yes.
So for the listeners who are new to this, would you please explain the work you do? Yeah.
Yes, of course. So emotion and body code. So these are two different modalities. So emotion code, it's the finding out trapped emotions in the person by using muscle testing. Muscle testing is like kinesiology. So your body knows everything, and it reacts with the strength of your muscles by being strong or weak. So this modality is used to tap to subconscious mind of the person and ask whether a person having any trapped emotions, and then there's a way to release them. Because everything is energy and everything is vibration. Even emotions are vibration. So when we experience different emotions during a lifetime, and we can't process them in a healthy way, so these emotions get trapped in our body, like everywhere, like in our brain, in our eyes, in our heart, in our, liver, everywhere. And they still vibrate in their own frequency. And if it doesn't align with the person's vibration, original vibration, so these trapped emotions cause pain, inflammation, and so on, disease later on.
What kind of psychosomatic stuff, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. We are able to release emotions on our own, but sometimes they get trapped due to different trauma or toxicity or any blockages in the lymphatic system, or you name it. So this is called emotion code. And it works like instantaneously. Yes. The best way to work is with the pain. So you can gauge the pain before the session, and then after the session, so you can kind of see the difference right away within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so emotion and body, you mean like it works as a complex?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
is it different?
I usually start with the emotions, kind of to clear up some emotions from the person. And then I see if it doesn't work anymore, then I'm asking the person's subconscious mind whether I should switch to a more physical component, body code. And then I switch back and forth. You know? Yeah, it's so cool.
So so you released that emotion that wasn't worked on, like, or a person doesn't even understand.
The person doesn't even know what emotion.
Okay.
Sometimes people say, "Oh, I have a lot of anger. Can you please release that?" But when I muscle test the person and I see that there are quite a few different emotions that have to be released first before anger.
Like, for example,
like there are so many emotions. Like there's a chart of the emotion code. And
it could be maybe resentment or
grief, abandonment, conflict,
feeling guilty,
love unreceived, guilt. Like there are so many emotions. And then when like a few emotions come out, then the body is more able to heal on its own.
So you've witnessed already people when they begin to release those emotional blocks.
Yes.
With your help or other people who are practitioners as well.
Yes.
Because you got trained for this, right?
Yes.
So what did you see when you witnessed that? Like, how do the people feel? Where would they express that they feel better?
Number one is the pain, like when people say, "Oh, my pain is much less," like that's kind of a big win already. And then people say, "Oh, I just feel lighter," or I'm kind of more, become more brave person or something.
Or,
I can do
peace, easier. So you also work with pets, right?
Pets as well. Yes,
so let's mention that. How do you work on pets?
On pets, the same way. I just hold a pet on my lap, and I just muscle test, and just the same way as it works for humans. Yeah.
So that's how you combine the holistic, I guess, medicine and the emotional body. Code healing. I mean, how do you call it, healing, or how do you call that?
Just we call it modality.
Modalities,
because healing, it's only God who heals, and your own body who has the ability to rejuvenate. Like I'm just kind of tool. I'm using tools here.
Which is like also, would you say we need to take this life easy and light, and but at the same time, it's very. To me, it sounds like we're not like only being playful about it, but also it's very serious because it does help people. Yeah, it does actually.
Yes, because emotions, I find they play one of the biggest role in causing different diseases. Every disease or every symptom or whatever has at least 3 components that cause that disease or symptom. Number 1 is toxicity. Number 2 is nutrient deficiency, and number 3 is emotional component, which always been underlooked kind of. So that's why I'm using this method just to help out people. With that.
What is toxicity, for example?
Toxicity, like heavy metal toxicity or pesticides, herbicides. If the body's ability to detoxify is a little compromised or big time compromised, so these chemicals they stand on the way to release all kinds of stuff, like emotions, for example.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this topic, so maybe you can tell us more if anything else you want to add, so it's more clear. Like, how do you offer your service about that, so people can just contact you? Or
so usually it's word of mouth, just people just talk, and otherwise, people can contact me on my email, on my phone.
So I can leave the contact. I'm going to leave those contacts in the description to this video, so they can ask more questions. And is there anything else you want to talk about this part? Because I'm not very sure what
else.
I do understand, because I've actually experienced myself how you did work on me.
Yes, I remember. And you were my first patient.
I was when you were practicing still, and when you were learning. Like, I really appreciate that time, because it takes faith that this is. I do believe in that too, like the energy that we can heal with energy as well.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I just wanted to say a few words about the second part of that, which is a body code. It's more physical component. So I never know what's gonna come up with every client. I never know, because person's subconscious mind is communicating through muscle and I just go through charts. And sometimes it just takes me to hydration part. That person is severely dehydrated. Or sometimes it takes me to like toxicity or teeth health or nutritional deficiencies. Like there are like hundreds and hundreds of different subcategories that where that path can go.
Yeah.
Yes.
But how do you test that?
I just muscle test.
Oh,
I'm just looking at the charts.
Oh, you have charts.
Yeah, the person holds my hand, and I muscle test, and I just go through the charts and just ask whether it's a true or not true statement, and kind of go through the chart and then bring patient attention what he or she's supposed to do.
Yeah. So Lisa, as an emotion and body coach practitioner, she works on adults and children.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And pets.
And
so
pets, yes.
anybody is welcome to because it's a, like non-traditional, I guess, way to heal, right?
Yeah.
But you've seen, as you said, like a change in person physically, right? Somebody physically was released from pain, for example, you said,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Or depression, like for example, me, when I was going through grief, like I remember you helped me a lot with my mental well-being. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'd love to return to that day we met. Yes. And I have a question for you. When your voice was in the hospital room, and it made me feel safe. Like it made me feel safe. Like I was there. You were there for me. What does cultural and linguistic connection mean to you in healthcare? Because you work there and you see all kinds of people in the hospital, right? You work with different nationalities.
Yes.
So what does that cultural or linguistic connection like really mean? How does those human moments like stay with you? Like, yeah.
First of all, I treat everyone like equally, whether the person is from the Ukraine, Russia, doesn't matter,
or from India,
or like we all people, we're all the same. We're
one
all
community.
Equal. Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, when a person speaks the same language I speak, it kind of we connect even further, we connect more, like the person. They feel more welcomed and they feel more safe, when I can speak the same language with that person. Especially right now, when so many people come from the Ukraine, like I speak Ukrainian a little bit.
As well, yeah, okay,
yes.
good.
Yes, yeah.
Because there's also like cultural connection as well, right? Yes. Because they know you get it, like you understand how I feel, right?
Exactly.
That moment, because the healthcare system here in Canada is a little bit different, like it's way different, big time different from back home, right? So actually, was that a big shock for you when you were working here, when you started working here?
Absolutely.
Can you tell a little bit more? Like, what were your first impressions? Yeah, when you if you remember, 23 years ago, 20 years ago.
Absolutely. The first thing I remember when I was even like doing the exams for nursing, just taking the exams for nursing. The way how they word communication, like nurses' communication with the patient. Back home, like I remember, we would just tell the patient, "Oh, everything will be."
So how has your understanding of health and healing evolved over time? Not just as a practitioner, but as a woman, as a mother, and as a person.
Yes, and a daughter.
As a daughter, yeah. Yes. How? So you did mention though that when your dad passed away from cancer, although he was a cancer doctor himself.
Yes.
That kind of made you reevaluate, I guess, everything. And so your understanding of health and healing, how did it evolve over time?
That your health in your own, it's your own work, like it's your own responsibility. Like nobody can heal you, people, like there are so many good practitioners around, but we kind of give a little support, a little boost, or a little deviation in person's health journey. But every person has to take responsibility for his or her own health themselves. As we just mentioned earlier, like it's not about just taking fancy supplements and then you're going to be fine. Like you have to address so many components in your life, like like sleep, hydration, sun exposure, physical activity, love and relationship. There are so many components.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, because I think you really yourself like big times give to your own care. Like
Absolutely.
you even have days, I think, in a week when you say this is me time.
Yes.
What do you do in your me time? I know you've been saying to me like I'm doing mask on my face, I'm doing bath. You go to yoga. You go like what else includes in your me time?
Me time. Yes. My dog is trying to get in. Yes. So anyway. It has to be free from work, so it's my day off.
Your day off. You don't take any calls, you don't see anybody?
No, I do. Getting together with some friends, I take it as a me time as well, just connect with people that I love or appreciate.
You go to dance as well.
Absolutely. Dance brings me joy.
Yeah, you go to dance, you do yoga, you do your hiking. So what you were saying, what else includes? So it's your day
What else in the me time, I use castor oil a lot.
Castor oil?
Castor oil, castor oil. Yeah, I do everything with it. I put it on my hair, on my face, everywhere, on my joints. I drink it internally.
Wow.
When people say like it's so like it's not drinkable, it is drinkable, and it's so healthy to take it.
Where do you buy your castor oil?
I buy it online. Of course, it has to be organic.
It has to be organic.
Yeah, organic.
And also a little about
going for a walk, getting some fresh air, maybe sun tanning on my backyard. That's a me time as well. Reading something spiritual, like kind of prayer, saying a prayer or meditate. That's a me time as well.
That's lovely. Yes. So in your last one, if you don't mind, I'll ask you this: for anyone facing big changes right now.
Yes.
Immigration, maybe career shifts or personal transformation or like any other life big changes, what guidance or reassurance would you offer from your own path to people?
I would take it as a health path. Health.
It's up to you,
I would definitely suggest any person who is new immigrant or doesn't matter, listen to everyone's advice and do your own research. There are so many different opinions about different things, about diet, about sun exposure, about even wearing sunglasses. There's so much information about not wearing sunglasses, so it's not healthy because when you do wear them, it causes more sunburn and potentially skin cancer. So anyway, there are so many different opinions. So I would encourage people to educate themselves. To listen to different podcasts, watch videos, read books, talk to other people who went through different health
transformations.
Transformations. So and make their own decision, and do what feels right. I always do what feels right to me.
I think that's the biggest thing I think for people today, to really tune in with their inner selves and listen to their inner voice and feel their inner intuition. And you're right, so I agree with you on that. So if anyone facing big changes like immigration or career shifts or anything personal transformation, please be advised to listen to your inner voice.
Yes.
Blessings to you. Thank you.
Blessings.